Alright, so today we're going to go ahead and we're going to buff this headlight. And a lot of areas, depending on where you live, your headlight over time is going to get UV light hitting it. It's going to fog just from the weather, the elements, everything. So we're going to go ahead and we got a kit on Amazon that we're going to go ahead and it goes on a drill and we're going to buff that whole headlight and try to make the thing look brand new, just like this guy over here. Or at least close to brand new. If brand new is we're going to be able to get it for an old vehicle. Alright, so first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to pop open the hood. That's going to make it, the hood kind of sticks out a little bit past the headlight here, so it's nice to have that in the way. Plus we'll be able to get to the top of the headlight better for buffing kind of this area here and just get it out of the way, and we'll be able to mask around this. We'll put some masking tape around the top of the headlight, all around the sides here. After I go ahead and pop the hood though, I've got a bucket with a little bit of soap and water, and I'm just going to wash the headlight down, dry it off really quick, then I'll do my masking tape and everything, but still pop the hood, get out of the way, because then I can wash up here a little easier too without having the hood in the way. So I'm not looking to do a huge wash job here, just enough to get it all clean again, any grime, before we start doing any work to it. I'll just do the whole car while I'm here. No, just the headlight right now. Yeah, you can see just washing it and drying it and just doing this. It's better, but you can see all this UV haze and everything up here. It's almost like a yellow kind of color. It just really stands out, dulls down the light, especially at night and everything. If it's wet and it's raining, sure, you might get a little bit more shine through, but it's raining. You're not going to be able to see much better anyways. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and mask this off here. Just helps protect the work area so we don't get too much splatter. I'm not buffing paint or anything. I don't know the difference between headlight compound and regular paint compound. But for this masking tape, I'm just going to try and slide it just right in between the headlight and the body. If you slide it in sideways first, you can just kind of pull it right over your edge there. We're not looking for perfection. We're not painting. If we were painting, we're taking a lot more time with this. Alright, so this is the turtle wax kit that we got on Amazon. It's the headlight restoration kit. I think it was like 20, 30 bucks. I forget exactly, but not too much. Got your instructions. Got a sealing wipe, base coat wipe. There's the attachment that goes on your drill. I already got my attachment on there. Just goes right in there, tighten it up, and that's what we're going to use. This is a Velcro on here. And then the pads have just the opposite of the Velcro, and just sticking right on. There's 3 different pads. There's a number 1, number 2, number 3. We're going to use those in order. We're going to do number 1 first with our compound. The other stuff you get in here, got the lens clarifying compound. That's what we're going to go ahead and just rub on later with the towel. Then we got the spray lubricant. That's what we're going to use when we're actually doing our buffing on here. We're going to go ahead and spray this on the headlight, get it nice and moist and wet, and put it on our attachment here when we actually have the correct pad, and I'll show you how to do that in just a bit here. Alright, so first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take our drill with our attachment on it. We're going to grab pad number 1. This is the kind of, if you were going in terms of sandpaper, it's going to be your most grit, so this is going to take off the most material off the headlight for our first part. We're going to take the spray lubricant, and that's going to go ahead and just keep this wet while we're sanding. It's kind of like a wet sand. We're going to spray this on the headlight, and we're going to do it pretty liberally. We want to go ahead and get a nice coat on there, and we're going to go ahead and put it on here too and keep this wet while we're doing the whole thing. We're going to go back and forth, and it says to do 4 full passes, so we're going to go ahead and go up, down. That's 2 passes. I'm just going to do this 4 times. After that, we're going to take pad number 2, put it on here, do the same thing. Pad number 3, do the same thing. And then after that, we'll go ahead and go to the next process. So I'm just going to go ahead and start here, and we're just going to spray this on quite a bit here. And they give you plenty of it, so don't be hesitant, just get a whole bunch on there. Get on the pad, and start kind of a slow speed and you just kind of slowly increase. And I'm just going back and forth. Putting a decent amount of pressure on it, but not too much. I mean, you don't need to put a huge amount on there. Alright, so I got pad number 2 on here now. This is the medium grit. I'm going to go ahead and spray down the light just a little bit more here. You want to keep it wet the whole process. You don't want to let it dry out. Do that. Some more on here. And then just do the same thing. Repeat that process. And see, so it feels like it's kind of starting to dry a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and moisten it up, even though I'm not done with this pad yet. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put on pad number 3 now. Do the whole process one more time. Alright, so we're all done with the drill. Now we're just going to go ahead and just wipe it off really quick and have it dry. Alright, so just wipe this down. Still got this towel here to wipe it with. Finish up this one. Alright, so now we're going to take the lens clarifying compound, put that on rag, and just kind of like buffing a vehicle. We're going to go ahead and rub it on there with some pretty good pressure. It's going to kind of have a fogginess to it, and then it'll go ahead and it'll dry kind of clear after a few minutes. And we're going to go ahead and do that a second time just to really get this thing to start clearing up. Just like waxing a car, pretty much. In circles. It's got a little bit of a haze over it. We're going to go ahead and let that dry. And then once it dries a little bit, you can kind of tell looking in the light if it's dry or not. Once it's dry, I'll take a clean towel and then buff that really nice, and then I'll do it one more time again. Okay, so I mean this is pretty well dry over here, so I'm going to go ahead and just buff this right off. I mean you can already see just doing that we're already getting a clear headlight more and more each step we do. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that again here. Alright, go ahead and let that dry really quick. And then go ahead and wipe that off. And then after that, there's 2 more steps. There's a lens base coat wipe. We're going to go and do that one first. That's going to have a resin in it. And we're going to spread that across the light really quick. Then once that dries, we're going to have the sealing wipe do that. And then that'll be it. And should look just as good as what the first one is we did. Alright, so that's pretty well dry. So I'm going to go ahead and buff this off now. Alright, we got that all clean and dry. So now we're going to take our base coat wipe and we're just going to spread this over the whole headlight. We're going to do it pretty quick. We don't want to take too long doing that. So I'm just going to take this out of here. And you want to leave it folded up, it says, and we're just going to go back and forth like this over the leg. And when putting this on, I like to go with the lines of the headlight, or horizontal, because then it just makes it, you don't have as many smear marks, or if you do it in circles, you might get to build up in a couple corners somewhere. Alright, so we got that on there. We're going to give it a few minutes and let it dry, and then we just got one more process to go, and then we'll be done with this light. Alright, so we're all dry, and just kind of, I got a light here that kind of helps me, but you can just look in the light and kind of see, if you see any wet spots or not. But we're all dry on there, so we're going to do the last wipe here. This is the lens sealing wipe, and this is just going to seal everything up. Supposed to give you even just a little bit more shine. Again, leave it folded up, and we're just going to wipe it across, same as the last one. And then that will be it for our headlight restoration. Alright, so now we'll let that one dry, and I'll go ahead and start pulling off the masking tape in a bit here once it's dry a little bit more, and then we'll kind of compare the two, and you'll see our finished product. Alright, so it's pretty well dry now. I'm going to go ahead and just start pulling off on my masking tape, which did a good job of protecting all the outer areas, except for one little spot I got up there where I went through a tad bit, but that's alright. That little guy, we won't worry about that little guy. You want to try and pull your tape away from your work area. There's a little bit of the buildup of that moisture from the compound, so I'm just trying to get all that to go away from the light, just because we have a nice clean work surface that we just finished here. And some of the areas, kind of same on the other one, where you buff it a little too much into the tape, it just heats it up and it gets that glue to just stick on really well. You can just take a rag or your finger, you can just rub it just right across like this. I'll get all of it off of there. Alright, then you can just kind of wipe down your area. The splatter gets pretty far, you'd be surprised. But, most of it just wipes off. Not too worried about it. Alright, there we go. We got both of our headlights done here. This, I think, as it dries a little bit, it might clear up a little bit more, but still, you look at the difference of this compared to when it first was, and huge difference. Compared to going out and buying a new headlight for $100-something bucks. Spend 20 bucks, go ahead and buff it with this. And this kit, it comes with a decent amount of this compound and everything. So be curious to see if you could use it again. Maybe get some more of those wipes, because I don't have any more of those. Maybe you can just buy those. And I'd be curious to see how long this lasts like this. But we'll see, and maybe we'll just do it in a couple years or something and just keep refreshing it.